What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today, surprisingly enough, we are going up against the Lone Gaze, and we're going to be not using the more traditional team. So you can see on our server, only 2 people seem to have made it all the way to the Endless mode. Everything else is before that. And the funny thing is, once you get to Endless, it looks like right now Odie is actually taking over, especially with the Phraesto, whereas the older strategy is still holding true. So we're gonna go first with this older strategy, see if it's strong enough, or maybe you know what we should do? We should see if the top score is actually good enough in the elite challenge here. So let's just see how this one turns out, because a lot of times using the best team at the top of the list for whatever difficulty you're on isn't always the best, because every time you jump up in difficulty, things change and you need different setups on your account. So let's see what this damage actually looks like using the Odie Phraesto team instead of the Lenya or Sinbad style team with the Kruger. So I feel like this one's it might have enough damage to get through it. I don't know. We're not even to the 50% mark, and we're already halfway through the timer, which is not looking good for us right now. It would be sick, though, for Odie to make a giant comeback in Endless, which is crazy because usually magic damage dealers fall off at that point. And yeah, the damage just doesn't seem to be there in this one. I feel like this team is built too tanky, and you can go a lot more offensive when you're in the previous difficulty from Endless. Once you get to Endless, you need these type of tanky heroes, but this is why you don't just jump to the top of the formations list every day. Throw in the team and get it done, because you can see right here, we're only getting to rank 31 with this, which is not great at all. What we need to be doing is going back to our old traditional teams, and I think my better team was actually the Sinbad one, but I haven't really been using Lenya as much anymore. So let's go back in with the Lenya squad and see how that turns out. So we're swapping with the Coco to put her further onto the battlefield. That way the wolves attack the Reinier, it seems like. Also make sure that Coco does stay alive in that situation too. You can see Reinier almost going down already, but look at how much better the damage is here. Absolutely crazy, crazy good. And this is why, again, I hate to like be a broken record, but don't just go to your daily list. Go to the top clear, copy the team, and get the best score you can, because you might be missing out on like 20 or even 30 like positions. You can see we're already doing more damage here, and that's because we're going with a more offensive setup. We don't have to worry as much about the damage that is incoming. And as you guys see right here, we completely clear it out with ease. My goodness, Lenya, every time that pops up. So right there, we went from like what, rank 31 immediately to rank 15 just by clearing this out, which is cool. Now, if you guys ever wonder why there's sometimes some really goofy formations, what happens is accounts like ours do this. And then what people do is they just throw their squad in like this. This is the squad they'll throw in. They'll just do a single fight and get some damage done to the boss. It doesn't matter what the damage number is, to be honest. What matters is that this is going to be a quote-unquote new record. And so if you guys have noticed things like this on the leaderboard, this is why, because it'll ask you, do you want to share this? And now when we actually come to formations, you'll see people at the top of the list using these heroes. They're not actually using them to get damage, because you see how little damage this is. It's like 46 million versus 28 billion. Yeah, that's why you're not going to see it there. So let's go ahead. Let's jump over to the Odie squad now, and we're going to be using the new artifact here, the arcane spell. This is going to give us additional damage right here, which is really good, and it gives us some magic defense pierce right here. So these are really, really good combos. I wonder if Mikola would work as good as Smokey here, because overall I feel like Mikola is the better buffer. Granted, Smokey does have that damage that he's outputting right here, and it could be significant. I don't know if Smokey's like a tankier hero or something too. That would put Reinier in the back if we did change to Mikola over Smokey. But you can see right here, our damage number is crazy good. Already up to 30 billion. Probably going to get close to 40 billion on this attempt, and it might give us first place today so far. I don't know. We'll have to see how this turns out. 34, yeah, not quite. It definitely slowed down towards the end, but that is a very solid damage number and gives us rank 7 right now, so not too bad. Looks like the tippity top people out there are not showing their formations, so I'm gonna mess around with some stuff. Let's see if we can get first place today. So this was kind of interesting because I actually saw on some people sharing on Discord, they've made weird teams like Sylvina work and stuff like that. This one though looks like the peak attempt right here. Now I know a lot of times everybody's like wanting to put Phraesto right next to the Shadow Illusion copy to get that 30% damage bonus, but in a lot of situations that's not really needed. What's most important is positioning of your team, and Mikola is going to be the ultimate buffer here. We are going to be swapping Smokey onto the boss here, and then of course we're going to be having Shakir providing that lupine aura. So we're going with Resonating Spell. From what I feel like and what I see, I've done one previous attempt with this too, but I had positioning was a little bit off from what I was testing. I think this is going to be the best damaging squad for Endless, so long as you have Mythic Plus on just about every single one of these heroes. Now, Reinier is going to be in the back. He's going to be very exposed to the enemy. However, we do have 2 healers. We don't have any damage reduction. So essentially, we just need the healing to outpace the damage incoming. You can see right there, it is a ping pong back and forth. And look at the damage numbers. By putting that positioning properly, this team is getting disgusting, like absolutely crazy powerful. Reinier almost going down, but again, having both that Mikola and that Smokey constantly healing everybody results in some pretty nutty, crazy damage. And you wouldn't think a team like this could do this type of damage output. It's actually really, really crazy how much damage this is doing in comparison to what some of the more traditional teams are. Now, one thing I will say too, and I've already talked about, don't just pick the top leaderboard. You'll notice we're ranked 2. We're actually not going to share our team either in this situation, just to show you guys something. You can pass on some, I guess you'd say, bad information to other people, thinking if they don't do the research, if they don't go to Discord, if they don't come to our YouTube videos to see what the absolute best team is, they're going to think whatever the best on their server is the best from what people are sharing. But you'll notice basically nobody is sharing anything anymore. Remember, this was a rank 7 clear, and this is supposed to also show, I think, everybody in your district, right? Because there's people on other servers. Yeah, server 28, we're server 30. So this is something to remember here, is that this is no longer the good place to go. People got tired of flexing on the leaderboards. They're hiding their true scores because they don't want the competition. They don't want another bigger whale. Like in my situation, if I would share it on here and I'd have someone from my server just go, oh yeah, I'm just going to use that, copy paste. I have the stronger heroes. Guess what? I get the better score and I now get the higher rank, because again, ranking is important. You want to stay in certain brackets to make sure you are getting some really, really good rewards. And that hit right there. Second place on the server, and that puts us at 13 on our district. So kind of important keeping some things hidden. I would no longer go by formations when it comes to Dream Realm, because a lot of times they're just not correct. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.